January the 3rd, 2017. Guys, you're looking at an image of the Earth and its magnetic shields, the magnetopoles. From the left would be the sun in this image, guys, and solar wind is coming from the left to the right. Notice the yellow arrows, and what they're doing is penetrating all the way into the core of our planet through what's called polar cusp. And they're actually penetrating through breaks in the shield. Now, we're dealing with a solar minimum, and that weakens the shields of both the heliosphere that surrounds the entire solar system that's projected outward from the sun, and the magnetosphere that protects our planet. So as it weakens, this one weakens. Now, we're dealing with these coronal holes that are building up on these 9-day cycles. I don't know how long that will continue. It may increase into less than 9-day cycles. Now, there's a reason for doing this video. First, let's go to the Enlil solar wind prediction model. Notice your timestamp. It goes from the 1st upward to the 8th of January. The top one is plasma density. That's not important because as you increase solar wind speed, that drops. But in the bottom, we're talking about radial velocity. Interpreted means solar wind speed. In the top chart, that is the speed increasing from 400 to 600 plus kilometers per second, well over 1 million miles per hour. Now, what's important is the bottom chart. The sun is in the center of the chart, yellow. The Earth is to the right, indicated in the green dot. You got stereo A and B represented to the left. Those are satellites on the backside of the sun. In the chart to the right, the Earth is represented in the green line. Radial velocity means solar wind speed in kilometers per second. We're already over 1 million miles per hour. Now notice in the bottom chart, the Earth, again, the green dot to the right of the center, which is the sun. And we're in the orange wave. That is the radial velocity, the solar wind stream coming from this coronal hole. You're seeing the speed go in the green line from 400 to above 700 kilometers per second. It could peak higher than that. It's a very large coronal hole. The reason I'm doing the video is this energy goes somewhere. And where does it go? It goes into those cusps that you saw penetrating the Earth's shields into the core of the Earth. And these are the latest images from the Solar Dynamics Observatory, a satellite that gives us Earth-facing perspective. The dark section of this is like a clear day on Earth. There's no magnetic canopy on the surface of the sun that's taking this energy, grasping it into these loops and transferring it back into the sun. The reason is helium increase. Normally the sun will release excess helium that penetrates this far from the outer edges of the heliopoles into the inner core of our solar system. The coronal mass ejections will release the excess heat. Right now it's doing it through these coronal mass holes during the solar minimum. We're going into this large area of gas that's surrounding the entire solar system, and the helium is penetrating in past even the orbit of Earth. That's how deep it is. Quickly look at the back side of the sun. This is stereo ahead. Notice the timestamp at the bottom, January the 3rd. This is a satellite on the back side of the sun. This is the one that just passed us. The dark images here, it is a coronal hole. This is all rotating around. Now, these are the images as I was doing the video of the A satellite. Notice radial speed. Again, that is solar wind speed. It and the temperature has increased, and this is what's coming at our planet. Now, this will dip back down slightly because we're in the beginning of that wave. But in the next few days, all the way past the 8th, you saw that it was still peaking at the 8th. We're going to be going through this. Look at the current earthquake activity. Now, I've gone back 7 days. Notice top left, all magnitudes US. That means from 0 up. But the rest of the world is in the M4.5 plus area. The reason I'm pointing to this is because here in North America, we've had this explosion of small quakes, and it happens to be in a geothermal area. Very important. Remember that term, geothermal. because this has been happening. Remember in California at the geysers, guys, a few weeks ago, the swarm of earthquakes? Hydrothermal means that this energy you saw penetrating the cusp of our magnetic shield is creating heat in the lava that heats these large lakes. You're looking at the Salton Sea. That's where all of this massive quake swarm is occurring. Massive geothermal plants. Check that out. Now, the bottom right image is from Italy, under the city of Naples, another geothermal activity. So we got the Salton Sea, we have the geysers in California, we have this area under Naples. And you can look up the geysers, but it's the largest geothermal area on the planet. Largest geothermal field. It's a complex that has 22 geothermal plants. They were not able to handle the excess pressure created by this incoming energy. Now we have volcanoes in Peru, geothermal activity at the Salton Sea at the bottom of the San Andreas Fault, geothermal activity at the geysers in California, the largest geothermal field on the planet, geothermal activity now in Naples, in one of the large fields under the city that actually goes out into the ocean, and it's called a submarine volcano. But for the first time in history, you've got the Sabancayo volcano. It's rumbled back to life December 26. And you can pause this, guys, and read the entire thing. It's called the Tongue of Fire. But in the last line, it says it's also erupting with the Ubanus volcano, also in southern Peru. And 100 kilometers away, the twin events mark the first time in recorded history that Peru has had two continuous erupting volcanoes. Again, pause any of it and read it. And let's check this out. Campo Fiegro, this is a volcano under the Italian city of Naples, shows sign of reawakening. Think about it, guys. Geothermal energy. It's created by magma heating up and under large bodies of water that are underground. And it creates steam, just like a steam generator or an old steam motor that's even fed by wood or coal in the old trains. That's what we're seeing. This energy is being transferred because our shields are weak and the energy has to go somewhere. Now it's saying Italian and French scientists have for the first time identified a threshold beyond which rising magma under the Earth's surface could trigger the release of fluids and gases at a 10-fold increased rate. They're saying this would be a risk for over 500,000 people because they built up all around the area. Again, this is a submarine volcano. You have steam in certain areas that have built up because it's such a wide caldera. It's part of Mount Vesuvius that wiped out Pompeii. That's just to the right of this, or to the east on the normal map. But they're talking about it was formed 39,000 years ago in a blast, and this is what's left. You're looking at a topographic map. This is just one crater. And this is the city of Naples, but most of it is offshore. Now, they're saying this field area is a large volcanic area situated to the west of Naples, Italy. It was declared a regional park in 2003. Lying mostly underwater, the area of the caldera consists of 24 craters and volcanic edifices. This is an image of it. It looks, again, very much like the Salton Sea. And all of these areas are heating up. This is part of that same system. But Pompeii took the brunt of it. This is part of the area in Naples. Looks a lot like areas in California, Salton Sea, the geysers, also Yellowstone. Think about that. Salton Sea in the top right, Naples in the larger picture. We're dealing with an increase in energy. Now, we haven't seen the brunt of this new solar wind impact that's coming at the planet. It could happen at any time. It was predicted between the 4th and the 5th. We're seeing a rise, and we're going to see a dip because the front of that wave was strong. It dipped down, and then we're going to go through several days of very strong impact. So watch it. Again, we're watching for the brunt of the solar wind stream. We're going to see impacts on the earthquakes, and we're going to see increases in the volcanic activity of the planet. As keep an eye on everything, it's a heads up. Be safe.